Welcome back to blog number 2 on the Nangee Model Tug Boat build. This is the progress that I've made so far. This is around about 5 to 6 hours of work over, I don't know, it's like 9-10 days. I didn't get the first blog out on time, so that's why the two blogs are actually closer than that. But since that first blog, what I've been working on mostly is the decks that go into the hull and completing the cutouts in the actual hull for the slots and the mooring rope holes and the anchor ports as well, which have still got a little bit more work to go on. So this front deck here is sized quite well, cutouts all done, nothing's glued in yet. The sort of bulkhead piece here, I think I need to resize that a little bit more. I think this has to go underneath this top deck and in towards this a little bit more. And so this needs cutting down, and I've cut the coamings that go around the sides, and you can actually see that if I lift it up, then the coamings are kind of the right height, whereas if it sits level like I've got it at the moment, this coaming sits underneath this one. So I think this has to actually go forward a little bit more and go underneath, in which case I'm going to have to cut out a little bit more around the edges there. So as the top deck comes up and out the way, I've put the securing strips around here for the coamings. I've got to file out along here because then you glue the coamings in and then you fill the groove or the chamfer that you've put in here with filler to give a watertight seal. So that's those two out the way. For the rear deck here, you see the hatch has been cut out. It comes out, and I've got the flange that sits inside there. To cut this out, I actually went around with a knife. I marked it all out, and actually then just still ruled along there, then cut round, scored round continually with a Stanley knife until I made it all the way through, and it's given me a fairly neat cut all the way around and a good fit, which it took me a while. I presume it would be a bit quicker than actually having to cut this lid out separately and size it, but each to your own. Say the flange is cut underneath, it's just super glued on underneath there. And then for the hull preparation, you see I've been along here, cut the holes out there. So those holes are for the mooring ports. Get two kinds of ports. If I just zoom you up into one of the drawings. So at the top of the drawing up here, you can see these little bollards and the mooring holes, and they give you a code: BL01 for the bollard, RH01 for the mooring port. There's RH02 for the mooring port right at the front. And when you spin you back down, and when you go through the accessories, not sure how well you can see this on the bag of the parts, they've actually put that code on there. So there's RH01 on that one, and put on here for the front one, that's RH02 on there. So that gives you the ports. I did on the drawing, it shows you how they go in as well. So they've got to go in from the inside. Let's zoom in. So they actually go in from the inside of the port through there, and then this ring sits on the back there, and then you glue them in place. They can't go in just yet because I've got to, once I've got the decks in, I've got to put filler all the way around here to smooth this all out, which is going to be quite a big job. So there'll be a little while before they actually go in, but all the holes are drilled and cut. These little mooring ports do need a bit of work to them to take off flashings and the like. Yeah, so the anchor ports have been cut out. I've got a bit more work to finish off inside there. Put some more filler in there last night that needs to be cleaned out. These anchor points are actually a little bit smaller than the actual moulding, so I'm not sure. I might grind them back out again. There's the other one, the other side. I might grind them back out again and resize them. 100% sure really. They're made up as per the diagrams. Okay, so what else we've also done? So you can see these are all the supports for the decks are all glued in now. A bit of filler has been put around. One of the beams is in. I've got another 2 beams, one to go sort of central, and then the one over right over at this end here for the decks to sit on. I haven't put those in yet because I am struggling to get the prop and the motor all lined up. Getting a bit of a mess with that, and I'm getting in such a mess with it I'll actually put that and make it into its own little video of how I'm going about solving that. And that is pretty much as far as we've got. We have, I'll go into more detail in the blog on the actual motor and drive. The actual support for the stern tube from the cork nozzle has been glued in place. It fits through there and up and in. And then there's a little arm that goes over the top of that to actually hold it in place and steer it as required. So that's, as I say, is about as far as we have got. It looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but it's once this gets rubbed down fully and then painted up, it'll look a lot better. But that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in the next instalment.